Hello, this is Attila Kalai, writer and director of Memory, and I will be doing the commentary for about the next 16 minutes. So we first open up on Atka Films, the logo, and then we go right into a Theater Pit Entertainment film. Into the credits we go. Now, the point of the film I was trying to do is I want to give different levels. So here there's no sound, and then in the next scene coming up, the sound explodes. And I try to take the film up and down like that to give the audience time to relax, breathe, and then they're at the edge of their seats again. This opening sequence itself just took me 2 weeks to mix and match. Just random shots and knives and night vision and just cut them up, and it turned out great. Catches people off guard. They don't really expect it. Now, and this is kind of it is a dream. It's a dream that the character Nicole, played by Sarah Sabian, is having. She's a bit guilty for her brother leaving, feels guilty. That's what she believes. Maybe it's her fault. But we don't really know what this dream is, of course. And she, of course, doesn't know why her brother has disappeared. We actually we were premiering this film a few weeks ago. One girl I know got so scared she had to leave, couldn't watch it. So I think I made my point that the world is a dangerous and scary place. I mean, my point with this entire film is to say, you can't pick the way you grow up, who you're going to be. That's the point of this story, basically. So now this scene, Liam and Sarah are on the street somewhere, and this is where she just murders him in her dream, but we don't actually show it happen. And then she's covered in blood, of course, because she has murdered her brother. Continuously, looped and multiplied. But I've been looking for a spot to use effect on, and then in the bathtub, which of course this symbolizes loneliness. And now we have a close-up of Sarah. This is Derek's bedroom, and we show that Derek is, of course, not in his bedroom and that Sarah's alone. She, of course, comes here day after day to spend time and just think about him, because she does miss him. Then we hear Derek's voice come in. We're kind of surprised here. People think, oh, he wasn't there before. Well, of course, because this is a flashback. She is thinking back to a time when they had a conversation together. Basically talking about the problems in life that people don't want to face. And this scene where he says what twice from different angles, but it's a small clue that I give that this is not, of course, what's happening. He's not there. There's something odd going on. Gives a bit of a hint. And we introduce Judith Turan's character, Sarah. She is the older sister who, of course, misses her brother, but she hides it with anger. She loves him, but she tries to forget him and push him away. That's what she's trying to do, to make it easier for her to accept it. Of course, nobody really knows why Derek has left until the very end of the film. Of course, here, the level of the film rises up again, so people are on their seats again. That's what I was talking about earlier. This is one of their first meetings together. And we, of course, have my next scene coming up, which is my favorite scene, right here. The two of them sitting on the bed, just talking about this and that. Then, of course, Derek's character tries to speak about his problem, but of course he stops for a moment and thinks, well, what's she going to really say, honestly? And he is afraid. I mean, it's one of those things that it's hard to do. I have a little bit of a comedic scene here. Actually, during this scene, we did this about 4 times, and I was laughing so hard because I just think they're really hilarious, these two in the scene. I had to leave the room for the last take. I could not stay in there just I couldn't take it. And then, of course, I hear a shot. Derek disappears, vanishing, showing that he is not actually there. Which everyone went crazy for that scene. They loved it. That's one reason it's my favorite shot. Again, her ritual of walking around and going to places where her and Derek used to spend time together. And the idea that Derek gets into his mind, he starts thinking about life and what will later on happen, because of course with his problem that he has, and he's trying to figure out how he can carry on. And through this, of course, Cole, she sparks a nerve, which of course doesn't want to talk about. Which of course is a flashback, as we see here, he disappears again because he was never there. And another scene, of course, with them talking. It's on the level, of course, of the film has been brought down again, so people can relax and take a breath. And this is just another spot where they were talking, where they used to spend time together.
I just want someone there to talk to.
And Liam's character, Derek, he's trying to, of course, reassure himself that he can tell him that if she does love him truly, then he can tell her the problem. Maybe she can help. But, of course, he doesn't. And he drops his cards here. Jumps down to get them, and then, the scene ends at that point. This next scene was a very touching scene to do. It was actually remarkably so heartwarming and painful and sad, the way this was put together, that we had a student in the class that cried because of the film. Not just the one, but there were a couple of others that did cry and thought this was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. And I agree, this was a brilliant performance given by all these actors. It's one of the last memories that we show that the two of them had together before he left. And now we bring the level of the film back up again with one more encounter with the two sisters. Another face-off, I guess you could say, a little argument they have. Again, Judith Turan's character Sarah is trying to comfort herself by being aggressive, and at this point, there's more arguing about who he was. Now Sarah starts to accuse, Derek being crazy and nuts, and he was just being so distant and all this.
Like what? Crazy?
As you see, Derek did try to go to his older sister, but she didn't listen. She just, I guess, got bored listening to him or whatever. He didn't, because it takes time. You want to say something to someone. Something like this isn't going to come out in a second. So after about 10 minutes, I guess she didn't care, sitting there listening to his talking. Which now, Nicole is trying to think logically to explain to Sarah, what could it have been? Because she has no idea herself. That little freak out that happens here is a very good moment. And it'll climax this scene right there. And we did that about 3 times, and Judy just said, slap me, so she had a mark on her face. No, she did a very good job. I mean, we do see her one last time, actually. So now back in Derek's bedroom. She's laying down here. And she notices something. This is Derek's diary, which she finds. She, of course, has no idea what this is and, why it's there, because she's been in the room plenty of times. And then this piece of paper falls out, which she opens up, and she discovers that it is a note. It's a note that Derek had left, and he explains, when he left it. I actually had Liam sitting down on the ground there, reading out the monologue from the script while we were doing this scene, just so she has an idea how to react. And then what I did here is, as you'll notice in a second, like just intercut pieces of showing Derek leaving, basically leaving town, different methods that he's using.
Slithers my goodbye.
And this road that Liam is walking down right now is actually later on you see him walking up another road, and it's the same road, we just switched camera angles. So we didn't really go very far to get different areas, we just turned angles, and so we cut a lot of corners that way with travel time. And we of course see Liam, taking the bus, that method, and of course, what are you gonna do when you want to leave town? You'll do anything possible to leave. And of course, this is the same road again that I said. We just turned angles.
I don't want to get hiding for the rest of the night. I know I can't escape it just like I want to sort of be myself. I'm not gonna do
Of course,
just
we still don't know what is happening here. We don't know why Derek left town. And nor does Nicole. She still has no idea. She's reading this letter of goodbye, but we don't know. Oh, and the driver here actually is my sister's boyfriend, who I use. He was a great stunt driver for us. That was actually Jewett Tran, my sister. And actually, just before this, we had somebody else, just a driver that we don't know, actually pull up and see if he could pick up Liam. But then he noticed me standing there with the camera, and he drove off. It was really, and we stood there looking at each other for a couple of seconds. Oh, right, and now this book. This is actually just some scientific book about planets in the solar system. And me and Liam basically took 2 pages. We glued 2 white pages in there, and we just scribbled for an hour, writing all sorts of stuff in there, notes, and of course, the main giveaway of the ending of Y. Liam left is also stuck right in there. And the last appearance by Sarah. One of Nicole's friends shows up at the door, and Nicole basically agrees, yeah, you know what, I'm going to come speak to my friend. Is basically of her accepting that Derek has left, and of course knowing now she knows why he left. The audience, of course, yet does not know. And leaving the book there, of course, so she can come back and look at it later. And if you look carefully, just at that point, you can see my reflection in the cabinet there. I was a kind of a goof. It was interesting. The camera crawls up like a little rat or something, and we see exactly why. If you catch on, that Derek was homosexual. He couldn't take the pressure anymore, and he left. And now we have entered basically the last scene in the film to finish it off. This is actually just myself. I was alone. I grabbed the camera, went to the SkyTrain, and well, this is Derek's character. This is his point of view, his eye, his angle, looking, leaving again another way. And this is supposed to be the SkyTrain. Now you can't really tell the difference, I don't think, in a quick look, because this is a bus. We kind of faked it. Liam couldn't come with me, but another movie magic. And we enter the tunnel, and song change right there to bring the level back up again of the film. People love the film. Some people had a problem with this one song, but you know what? I think it's perfect for it, because it basically goes through about how life is so hard and difficult, and sums up my point again that we do not choose to be who we are. So we white out to our credits. So and picture credits, I love picture credits, I love to use them. I think it's a great way for the actors to go out and finish off. Oh, and sorry, Nicole LaPlaca, I didn't mention her. Nicole LaPlaca, there's a scene when they were on the swing speaking, and there's a different voice. I was Nicole LaPlaca, another actor of mine. Well, we didn't have Sarah there to do the other side, so we just did a voiceover with Nicole LaPlaca. She did a great job, and it works. It's a flashback. So I know Richard Wheel helped us out. He did some weather control, helped us out. And, it took us a month to make this film. We're all very proud of it. We were excited to do this, and it turned out better than I imagined. The project is great, and I'm going to continue going on with this, making other stuff. I hope you all enjoyed this film. I know I did, and the actors enjoyed it just as making it. It was fun. So, thank you very much. And this is Attila Kalai, director and writer of Memory. Thank you for watching.